So, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 54. Whoa, what a crazy issue. So, MMPR issue 54 is the penultimate issue of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic, as it's going to be wrapping up next month. But then in November, we're getting two brand new comics, one of them being a series focusing on the Omega Rangers. And I'm really glad that the Omega Rangers are getting their own spin-off comic, because seeing these guys off in the universe, in the space of Power Rangers, is really cool, because there's so much left to be explained in the Power Ranger comics universe that the Omega Rangers can see. We can see stuff from a different point of view in the time of the series, and seeing the Omega Rangers like Trini, Zack, and Jason get their own spin-off, I'm down for it. And if this comic is going to show what the adventures they'll be getting into, oh boy, is there a lot to talk about. So let's talk about MMPR issue 54, The New Evil. So the issue opens up with the Omega Rangers confronting the brand new evil known as the Imperials, and we don't know a lot about these guys already. These guys are one big mystery. Now, a lot of people in my comment section are speculating this could be a race of people, because there was a different colored one that killed the adversary in the weird Draken pocket dimension and stuff like that, and that is true because this guy has different colored speech bubbles, and there's a lot to try and speculate and guess about these Imperial guys, because they're so powerful. So the Omega Rangers confront this guy, and he goes on this big speech about life and death and creation, and he has some powerful broken abilities. So what he does, he picks up the skull of something and crushes it in his hand, and as he opens his hand back up, it turns into a flower. So these Imperial people have these godlike powers where they're able to create and destroy, bring life into non-living things, which is really, really crazy. So the Omega Rangers get into a fight with this Imperial guy, and even though the fight is 3v1, this guy is able to solo the Omega Rangers, and they aren't even able to scratch the guy. They can barely hurt him, and this guy has some crazy powers like I was talking about, because there's a bunch of rocks around this guy and the Omega Rangers. They're using it as like weapons. They're smashing it up to like distract him and hit him with as much as they can, and the Imperial guy is able to just bring one of them to life, and it creates like a bunch of hands and arms, and it grabs onto Jason, latching onto him, about to break his neck and snap his body in several different places. And you can tell when this guy's got powers like this, where he can hold Jason down and Trini and Zack are unable to do anything, this guy is on a whole different level than from what we've seen before, like in the TV show and the comics and stuff like that. Like, this guy is a god beyond gods, because you've had characters like Lord Draken who called himself a god and stuff like that, but this guy seems like he's a literal god in the Power Rangers universe, in whatever hierarchy there is out in the universe. Like, whatever this thing is, it's something. So Jason's being held down, and 11 comes to the rescue by blowing a shit ton of lasers at the thing that's holding down Jason, able to free him. But that isn't enough. That is not enough, because this guy has so many fucking broken powers. It's not even funny what he does in this issue. So what the Imperial does next is say, so you want to see how alive this planet can be, because what I didn't go over is like the Rangers and the Imperials talk about life and death and this planet and stuff like that. So the Imperial says you want to see how alive this planet can be. And then he creates this giant lava monster, this giant kaiju lava monster, where the Rangers have to summon their Omega Zords to take on this thing. And even the Omega Zords are struggling to fight this thing. Like, they can barely handle it. It's freaking crazy. Now, we do get a bit of a fake out where you think that 11, or she, whatever you want to call him, you think he gets destroyed, but I think the fake out is kind of ruined, because it doesn't look like the ship's destroyed. It kind of looks like it gets damaged on that one panel. Like, you don't really see it blow up, so that's a bit weird. I don't know if that's an artist mistake or something like that, or maybe I read it wrong with the paneling. I don't know, but I feel like maybe the ship should have blown up. But Oh well, so the Omega Rangers fight the lava monster in their Zords, and it's a freaking crazy fight. Like, the artwork is amazing for this giant fight. Like, so much is going on in this panel. Like, they're doing their signature Zord attacks, and nothing is working. Nothing is working until Trini thinks of a formation. Well, they all do this giant team attack where they just shoot these energy balls at the lava monster. But if I'm correct, Trini's the one that delivers the final finishing blow that's able to destroy the lava monster. So that's what happens. They destroy the lava monster and everything is saved. The day is saved. They're able to get away from the Imperial and his giant monster as well, because yeah, like, this entire issue is mostly focusing on the Omega Rangers and their fight with the lava monster and the Imperial and stuff like that. There's no, like, cutaway plots to see what's going on Earth with Tommy and Draken and Zed and stuff like that. The main focus of this issue of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 54 is the fight between the Rangers and the brand new threat, and that's a really good thing because they focus on the threat the entire issue and they don't cut away from it, and that's a really good point of Ryan and his storytelling with this issue, because he could easily cut away to see what people are doing on Earth and stuff like that, or see what Zordon's doing and stuff like that, but no, that's not the case. What we get in this issue is the main focus on the Omega Rangers. So whatever way you look at this situation, this is a big loss for the Omega Rangers because they weren't able to save the planet and it was destroyed by this mysterious godlike being. An entire race and planet was wiped out from whoever this person was. So they have to take the mother and child all the way back to Safe Haven. And this is where you have some really nice moments. Like, Trini reassures them, like, she's got a look of determination on her face saying, if this guy does come looking for you, he'll have to go through us. That is for sure. So I get the feeling that is definitely foreshadowing that this godlike creature, the Imperials, are gonna come to Safe Haven and fuck shit up, because Safe Haven does have a lot of ties to the Morphin Grid and stuff like that on the planet, and there's a lot of things that is plot relevant to Safe Haven that could happen, like all the people in the jars and stuff like that, Kia and stuff like that. That could probably come into play in the next story arc in the comic sequels and stuff like that, so who knows. So then you have a moment where Zach talks to the little kid and he says, I don't know what to say, but if you want to play ball, like play tetherball or catch or something before the ship lands, we can do that. And no, there's no response. Like, the small child runs up to Zach and hugs him, and there's no dialogue between the embrace, but you do get a speech bubble of she or 11 saying, I'm sorry, and that's a really good transition, because you get the feeling that's what Zach would have said to the child if they had any dialogue between this moment. But having no dialogue and then having the transition of 11 saying, I'm sorry, and this is where we have 11 and Jason having this discussion about the Imperials, saying there's no data on this thing, and 11 brings up a really good point saying, if there's something this powerful out there, how can it go undetected for so long? And Jason's response is, I don't know, maybe it was sleeping and some idiot woke it up. And 11 brings up a really good point where he says, hey, if this thing's got a master and it's going around targeting other planets, this is probably only the beginning of bad things to happen. And Jason's like, well, so much for retirement. Let's set a course for Earth because we need to talk to Zordon about this. And I hope he has some idea on what to do next, and that's where the issue ends. So, MMPR issue 54 is something. Like I said in the middle of the issue of the review, this issue focuses entirely on the Omega Rangers. There's no cutaways or anything like that, because it shows the threat of the Imperials and how powerful they are. And by not cutting away to anything else, that's a really good way of showing how powerful this brand new threat is. But this was the penultimate issue. Next month is the finale of the MMPR comics, and I'm excited to see where this is going to go next, because I wonder how this series is going to wrap up in one more issue, because like I said, we're getting the sequel comic in November. I'm definitely going to read them and cover them on the channel, but I am curious how Ryan is going to wrap up this comic and set up for 2 sequels later down the line. So that's what I'm really, really excited for. Anyway guys, that's my review of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 54 and pretty much the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to slap that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and don't forget to leave a comment as well. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I'll see you guys around. Peace out, take care, and thank you for watching.